And even looking at my students, like how can I help, how can I help my students, my students of Afro-Canadian descent? How can I help push them and give them opportunities to be in the forefront of the dance?
And not to minimize it or to cause any split between the ladies, but to, have an adult conversation and play devil's advocate. Do you feel that the B girls, or not even just females that attend the events or that run in these breaking circles, who are more on the promiscuous side, do you think that they make it harder for the women who are just here to break, show skills, be a part of culture, be a part of expression? Like when you
Well,
see girls like that, are you just like, ah, man?
I think that's a weird thing, because there's a lot of B-boys who are really promiscuous. There's actually a lot of B-boys who cheat on their wives and their girlfriends when they go on tour. There's a lot of things that we all know about a lot of B-boys. And I would never want to bring that up and put anybody in a bad light. But um, it's funny, at one point in my life, maybe I could have even been labeled as someone like that. But someone's sexual choices, what they choose to do, their promiscuity, it's not our business. Like what, that's not my business what promiscuous B-boys decide to do. So why should it be an issue for women? You know what I mean? Why should a woman's promiscuity, her sexual choices, what she chooses to do, be anybody's business? If she wants to go to a jam where there's more men than there are women and the guys are all thirsty, why should we
Why do
judge
you
her?
get so aggressive with you? So they thirsty.
Well, because literally there's a B-girl who came here from, I won't say what country she came from,
Right.
but she came here from a Latin American country, and she told me she couldn't go to practice because the guys were so thirsty and always hitting on her at practice. And it's not a joke.
No, I'm
She
not
couldn't
laughing like it's a
practice.
joke. I'm laughing like,
It's not a
God dang.
joke. That's the reality though. So, but then people want to talk about promiscuous B-girls, making it look bad for, I'm like, what other B-girls choose to do, or what I choose to do with my sexuality, is my choice and their choice. And what people who choose to just focus on the dance and do their work and keep their, to me, these are not this doesn't have to do, I don't know. I don't see how this is a discussion, because I think it really, really, there's all these B-boys that have been outed and accused because they're the ones who are promiscuous and causing problems, not the B-girls.
Okay, I mean, we just
I'm
talking.
just saying.
No,
But
I'm not. I'm just listening.
if people want to be promiscuous and not harassing, if anyone's harassing or being a B-boy, B-boy or B-girl, if someone's sexually harassing someone else, that's wrong. That should not happen. And sadly, often because the power dynamic is that B-boys are in roles of importance, they could be the ones who could perpetrate that.
Right. But see that the only thing that my only pushback on that is when we explain it like that. In my mind, sometimes we take accountability away from the female, and we kind of make her too powerless. Like she's just some weak, ignorant being. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to express it like that, because okay, in my mind, and if you disagree, it's fine. Women control access to anything physical, right? Unless the guy's breaking the law. But as long as he's not breaking the law, the woman controls access to that, right? Men only control access to relationships. It's the man's decision if he's going to marry you. It's the man's decision if he's going to commit to you. It's not necessarily the man's decision if he can be physical with you. And that's why I don't like to put all the blame on the women or take all of it off of them. And that's why I just kind of differentiated between the choices and seeing how you feel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm having trouble on wrapping my brain around the thing that you just said, but It's just a different perception, maybe, that I'm not used to.
All I'm saying that let's take Bgirl Random, right? Bgirl Random controls whether B-Boy Random can be physical with her, right? Because if she said, without crimes happening, right? We're talking in a non-criminal sense, right? She has to say yes, and she has to go with it, right? If she says no, it's over, right? Unless a crime happens. But, so that's why I'm saying, that's why I don't take all of the accountability away from the woman and put it all on the guy. Because guys don't control that. Guys only control B-Boy Random only controls if he is going to commit to Bgirl Random or if he's going to marry Bgirl Random as a societal norm, right? Because men propose to women as a societal norm, right? It would be considered, wow, if a woman actually proposed to a guy and was like, marry me, right?
So a woman couldn't be the initiator of the relationship?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that she can't be the initiator of a relationship, but it's going to be up to the guy to decide if he's going to commit to her or if he's going to marry her. So that's when I say control relationships, I mean that it's going to be up to the guy to say that we're going to be together long term.
These are based on traditions which are built in patriarchy, right? We live in kind of like patriarchal society with patriarchal traditions, and so these kind of traditions that you're talking about, even though they may be very normal, are also based in unconscious bias.
So that's my idea of the patriarchy, which is a system of male dominance of society.
Yeah, but that's not my sense of the patriarchy.
So what's yours?
Well, in what sense is our society male-dominated?
The fact that the vast majority of wealth is owned by men, the vast majority of capital is owned by men. Women do more unpaid labour.
Very tiny proportion of men, and a huge proportion of people who are seriously disaffected are men. Most people in prison are men. Most people who are on the street are men. Most victims of violent crime are men. Most people who commit suicide are men. Most people who die in wars are men. People who do worse in school are men. It's like, where's the dominance here precisely? What you're doing is you're taking a tiny substrata of hyper-successful men and using that to represent the entire structure of Western society. There's nothing about that that's vaguely appropriate.
But I could say equally well that most rape victims are women. Terrible things happen to people of both sexes.
And you could say that with perfect utility, but that doesn't provide any evidence for the existence of a male-dominated patriarchy. Well, it just means that terrible things happen to both genders, which they certainly do.
So we have to just keep that in perspective, right? So if you let's just go back to Bgirl Random. Okay, so let's say Bgirl Random. Okay, so what if Bgirl Random and B-Boy Random happens to be her? Let's talk about access, right? Because before in my conversation, I was talking about access, like having accessibility to teaching or knowledge or a training space or a crew. What if B-Boy Random is Bgirl Random's access? So he has a position of power. He has a position of power because he has access to something that she might have available to her. So then her choice about giving him access to her physicality might be influenced by this power structure that exists unconsciously in the dynamic without them ever having recognized that this power dynamic exists. So this could influence Bgirl Random's actions because she unconsciously wants to have access to things that she should have access to anyways without having to rely on B-Boy Random. And B-Boy Random may also come to her and say, hey, let me help you and give you access to these things. And then maybe unconsciously, he wants something in return for that access.
But then who has the
these? I'm just saying,
right?
Like,
No. We're
could
just
also,
talking. I'm not
you know
getting
what I mean?
offended.
Like,
I hope
these
you
are
aren't.
things that
Yeah, we're
could
just
alter the dynamic. So you could say, "Oh yeah, Bgirl random. She's so promiscuous," but it's just like, let's look at what are the reasons why she might be, or you know, we're not even going to talk about like b-boy randoms who go around the world and like live at b-girls homes, or just not even b-girls homes, but live with them and have risen to success in their b-boy careers because women and b-girls have helped them. You know what I mean? I'm just saying there's like so many aspects to this. Like, I think that if we just say, oh, b-girls being promiscuous, it's a problem in the scene, and it takes away from all the b-girls who are working hard and not thinking about that. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe, you know, but like maybe there's other aspects to that we don't even understand. And we have to remember too that our culture, like in our community, attracts a lot of people who may have trauma already, or who may have undealt with aspects of their personalities that need healing. And we're getting that healing in the dance, but yet there's still some unresolved trauma and aspects that might need some help and assistance. And sometimes that goes uncared for, because like one of my teachers described it as like as a pressure cooker. It's like you put something in the pressure cooker, and the pressure cooker takes the pressure like out, lets out steam in the top, right? But it's temporary. It's not something, it's like a temporary solution for something that needs a more long-lasting solution. So it's like, you know, we might need to look at the dynamic behind those power structures. Why is b-boy random acting like this, and why is b-girl random acting like this? And these are things that are creating problems in our community, or could bring up issues that don't have like direct like solutions, you know, don't have direct answers.
okay. Fair enough. So
it's not an easy scene and culture to stay in. There's a lot of unresolved issues, and a lot of politics and beef and things that can happen. And
yeah,
dynamics,
no, you're right. You're right.
Right. So I think that for anyone who stays in the community over a long-term period of time, this is a gift.
For more quality content from Beyond the Cypher with Illskillz, don't forget to press the like and subscribe buttons. Also, feel free to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Beyond the Cypher. Let us know how we're doing down in the comment section, and to make sure you don't miss anything from the channel, smash that notification bell. We appreciate the love and support. Peace. Until the next episode.